everybody? It's your boy Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, it's going down all things HBCUs. And who else better to start it off with them Bowie State Bulldogs? We coming to you, Bowie State Bulldogs, total access. We got the Morgan State Bears. Listen, all HBCUs information, all HBCU news, sporting events, updates. You get it live here with Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11 is going down. Don't you miss a beat. Listen, it's only the beginning because it's early still. And we're gonna be here all day. All day. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I already know what it is. It's your boy Pitts. Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you. This is another special one. Before we get into the guests, I want to give a shout out to Staples. Staples is one of the sponsors for Pitt Sports Zone, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. Thank you for all your print needs. If you need the prints, the posters, graduation time is coming up. You know, you want to go and get them big banners and them head face. Listen, Staples get you covered. And also shout out to Smart Water. Listen. Nemo, Washington. My God, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you again, boss.
Yeah, it's good to be on, man. It's an honor. It's a privilege, man. You know, happy to be on the show. Definitely a fan, so I appreciate this, man. So thank you,
bro. Like when I talk about, you know, when you sit back and you just watch the trajectory of one's career, and you know. The humble, you know, just being humble with it as well. Like it speaks volumes of who you are, right? And before we get into it, because you know you are a returning guest, so I want to do something different. Didn't really do this the first time. Just want to give an icebreaker so you know individuals can you know get to know you a little bit better. Also, shout out to my sister Joy. You know, Joe. Yeah, couldn't be without sister. Shout out to sis.
Absolutely, man. She holds it down. She a real one.
Let's get Read Simple Connection. Y'all know if you know, you know.
Yes, sir.
So listen, bro. Give me. I already know this answer. I'm pretty sure everybody that knows because you're from the DMV. What is your Who is your favorite NFL football team?
Ooh, actually, might not know this one. So. Ooh. Because I was born in Atlanta.
Okay.
I was born in Atlanta, so I'm a Falcon fan. I was born there, but I was raised here. I was only there for 8 years, but Atlanta always stuck me. I was during the Vic era, so seeing him, it was like if I was here, it probably been the Ravens though, because Lamar.
Yeah.
But everyone actually gets shocked by that because they don't know that part. But my first 8 years of life was actually in Atlanta, so Falcons.
Okay. Give me your favorite place to visit or that you visited or a dream destination you would like to go.
Oh, favorite place to visit, Houston, by far. Okay. I love Houston. So, I mean, Houston's fun. I'll just say that. I recommend everyone to go. And then you got to go down there. And then place, I like LA too, but place I probably would want to go. Believe it or not, I'm not big on out the country. My wife Joey is. Like we've been out the country, but I'm not like super big on that.
Right.
It's not a place, but I'm pretty sure y'all see it on Instagram. Some people be posting stuff and it be like people like in a like a little high rise or something. And it's like the water's fall. I like to go something like that. So I don't know if that's a place. I don't know what it's called, but I would do something like that. But I'm not big on out the country. But Houston. Love it.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's look my mama on the show. Hey, mama.
How you doing?
All right. And lastly, you're a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You know, I ain't gonna throw no shade, you know, to shooting around because I'm a Largo Lion. You know, but what player influenced you growing up that made you want to play QB or that made you want to play football in general?
Oh, okay. Made me want to play quarterback. That was easy. Michael Vick.
Okay.
Now my favorite athlete growing up, Two people, Deion Sanders and then Julio Jones.
Mm,
Deion because of the swagger,
yeah.
how he was, like how he carried himself, played two sports. I like something I like. Julio Jones was just my favorite receiver growing up.
Okay.
How he was quiet, but he still had a dog about him. And then Mike Vick, like I said, I grew up in Atlanta, and so
Okay.
it was easy to gravitate towards that just because he was a guy I looked up to in the area I was born in, and then it just stuck with me. But Deion
Okay.
and Julio, my favorite athletes of all time. Oh, and Kobe Bryant.
Let's get it. Okay. Okay. So Julio. Oh wow. I can dig that. Those are two goats,
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. So before we get into it, shout out to Larry, Bowie State alum, Bowie State quarterback. Want to show you some love. We can't post those comments because they're on the Instagram live side, but shout out to my man Larry. Then also Coach Q Dog, Jamal Carter. Happy belated birthday, man.
That's my guy. Happy belated birthday. That's my guy, man. We always go back and forth on Instagram. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah,
You know, his son's at Morgan now and whatnot, so I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I can't listen. There's some games I got circled that I can't wait for myself.
You know what's funny?
Huh?
You know what's funny?
What?
Me and him, we got the same family, which is crazy because my family in Georgia.
Okay.
His cousins, those were like my peoples. The church, Mount Moriah, but they were like we were close. Like we were like I think I got to check with my people, but I mean he said, "Hey man, you know my cousins." I'm like, I think those are my peoples and stuff. So,
so y'all might be kinfolk.
We might be. I got to find out and stuff. So
okay, man. Pops is him, Mr. and Mrs. Carter, man. When I tell you the way they welcomed me and the way they show me love, like it's greatly appreciated from them because they constantly look out for me. And I'd be remiss if I never give them any shout out because that's all love. Yeah. So, bro, you started out Suitland Rams, Bowie State. You played the game. You started coaching. You went from Bowie State. You went to Wheeling, right? We spoke to you. We got to break that information when you was going from Wheeling to the Cleveland Browns. Before we get into your new position and your new journey at Delaware State, and we can kind of pivot and let's just talk about that journey with the Cleveland Browns and some of the things that you gained and learned while being able to be a part of the NFL culture.
Man, it was a great experience. I mean, talk about the best of the best from a player standpoint, the best of the best from a coach's standpoint. The knowledge that I soaked up there was second to none. I took so much from it, and it was funny because I would say one of the highest of making NFL playoffs, and then obviously we weren't that good last year,
right?
But I learned so much throughout, like especially my first year going in. I think I came in, I was like in awe a little bit, and to be transparent, I feel like that first month I kind of struggled just to acclimate myself where I was kind of like deferring a lot, which I should, but I was learning a lot of information, but I was like kind of like, oh, where I feel like I could have offered some stuff. And it took Slump Mitchell and then our head coach, Kevin Stefanski, said, hey, you're here for a reason, don't be in awe. Like, let's, show your worth. That's the reason why we hired you. And I appreciate them for saying that. And that helped me settle in. And I felt like, I grew every week. And seeing us make the playoffs, learn a lot from so many guys. I got to mention this guy, Ashton Grant. That was my guy. He was the offensive assistant, an assistant in the quarterback room. Like me and him, he helped me a lot. Just, keep building my confidence on that level where I knew I belonged. And guys like him, guys like Stephen Bravo, and then, like I said, Coach Stump and Coach Stefanski, and then our also coordinator, AVP. Like it was a lot of fun. They showed me that, in coaching, as long as you prioritize and organize it, you don't have to be in there all day, but just get your work done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we had a lot of success, be efficient. Then the second year, we didn't do as well, but I still learned a lot from guys like Ken Dorsey, our OC, guy like Tommy Reese, who's an offensive coordinator now in Cleveland. He's a young guy, a little older than me. Just learning from guys like that, how they did different things. So it was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't trade for the world. And honestly, I thought before I got to Delaware State, I was going to be there. Another year because I signed a contract since 2027. So
Right.
The plan was to be there, but obviously I think God gave me another direction. But it was awesome time, man. I can't complain. I'm going to go back. I'm speaking that to existence.
Absolutely.
So I can't. Yeah, it was just awesome. I have nothing.
And I seen the interview you did when you talked a little bit about signing that extension with the Cleveland Browns, and then that journey and going to Del State. I want to touch on that, but we'll touch on that just a little bit later. I want to kind of dig a little bit more into like the culture when you go from a college campus and when you go from a college experience to an NFL culture, to an NFL campus, the training camps, the OTAs, etc. Can you talk about the difference in the journeys and how those things are coordinated?
Super different. NFL is football all day, every day. Like what they're doing right now is off-season workouts. Like that for any coach or football junkie, football all day, every day is like heaven. Like that's all I got to worry about. I ain't got to worry about recruits. I ain't got to worry about his grades. I ain't got to worry about, what's he doing in the classroom, right? If he's missing something. Like, because one, if you miss something in the NFL, they just find you. I ain't got to track you down, if I don't want to.
Right.
Now, the good coaches do, but football all day, every day. And that's what I love about NFL, man. It was that's that part of like just even in all season. All right, how we going to get better? How we, what we going to do with the playbook? Like, that's all you got to worry about. College is different because now you worry about their grades. You worry about they going to class. Are they eating? They're young men. They're trying to develop. So, you got to still worry about their mental health. You got to worry about their mental health in the NFL too, but you have the resources already there and put for it. So It's two different games. Even on the field, it's different. Like college, the hashes are wider. NFL hashes are tighter. Things of that nature. It's two different games, two different environments. The one thing I will say that stays the same is if you work the work ethic, the best players work the hardest. I'm a firm believer in that. I saw it. So that's something, if you want to make it to that next level, your work have to be different, but two different games. I'm not saying one better than the other, but I did love the football part of NFL where it's only football 24/7.
Absolutely. When you talk about work ethic, your work ethic as a coach, I watched from afar when you were at Bowie. I was coming on at the tail end when then you went to Wheeling, and I watched you. I watched your prep. I watched how you post. But then I was really intrigued when you went to Cleveland because you were studying day in, day out. I mean, long hours. You get there early, you're there late. Your work ethic, it showed, one, why you would deserve the opportunity, and two, the fact that, you were going above and beyond, not only to just get ahead of the curve, but also to build yourself up. And, I commend you for that because going from college to the NFL as a coach, I can imagine the difference in terrains and, you're going into a brand new environment. Where, like you said, you're not talking about student athletes now. You're talking about grown men, right?
Yeah.
So I commend you in that. I love your work ethic. How you were constantly showing that development, showing how you were developing as a coach, showing how even when you make it to a certain point, you still have to put in the work as well. It doesn't mean the work stops. So I commend you for that wholeheartedly. What was it like walking into that locker? And this is the last question for regarding the NFL.
Good.
But when you walk into a locker room and you see a Nick Chubb, or you see a Myles Garrett, or you see a David Njoku, like these are some big guys, in stature, the way, their height, their size, their weight. Nick Chubb's an awesome running. He's an awesome running back. What was it like during your first encounters with some of these players?
I mean, it was awesome. Well, it's funny you brought up the two positions I worked with closely the most, like
tight ends and running backs.
Running backs, tight ends. So walking to a guy like Nick Chubb, he was the hardest worker in the building. Explains why he's so good. Like his work ethic is unmatched. And seeing him come in every day, how he prepared, how he took care of himself, how he fought back from injury too. Like it was just so impressive to watch. Like man, he makes if he's gonna go this hard, I should go this hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then spread that information to the any college guys that want to come up to that level. Like you got a guy like Dave Njoku, full of energy, like energetic every day. There's no such thing as a bad day with him. Like to see that he was like that every single day, like it was actually amazing to see because even if something going bad in his life, you wouldn't know it. I mean, like when he got burned by the fire, he came running out to practice that next day. Like, I'm still playing Sunday, So seeing those guys, like, they're special, human beings that, obviously have a special God-given ability, especially, have that size, that speed, like Myles Garrett in them. Like, it was incredible to see because these are the best athletes in the world. The one thing they all have in common is, like, if you can make me better, I'll listen.
Yeah.
And they are searching for ways to get better.
Okay.
That's one thing I will say. They're searching for ways to always get better.
Awesome. Let's go back to, you talk about the Cleveland Browns extension that you signed through 2027. But then, you transition and you leave the Cleveland Browns and you go to Dell State to be the offensive coordinator. Now, in the interview, I heard, I know you and the love of calling plays, your creativeness, just being able to be creative and your creativity when it comes to the offensive plays. I'm looking forward to seeing again this year because I now get to see it firsthand, up close and personal. So that's the joy for me. But then, if you can kind of talk about that, your decision to leave the Cleveland Browns after signing the extension, then going to Dell State.
Yeah, man, it was it was a blessing. I didn't know Deshaun before, Deshaun Jackson, our head coach, before taking this job. We got introduced by Deuce Staley, who's a mentor of mine now.
Okay.
Our running back coach, he's a real good dude. He introduced us. Yeah. Super Bowl champ, man. He's a real good dude, man. He introduced us, and then, he asked me if I'd be interested. And, he said Deshaun's looking for a guy. He was looking at me and another guy. And that itch got back, and then I said, all right, I'm going to pray about it. And I remember I wrote down some stuff. I said, hey, God, if when I ask these questions to Deshaun, if he answered it, I'll take it. And during that interview, I didn't have to ask not one question. He addressed it before I could ask it. So I was like, oh, crap. All right. All right, so I guess I'm not doing this alone. Because if you look at it, some people are like, Delaware State? You choose to go there? And, they weren't 111. I'm like, yeah, because I truly felt like it wasn't just my decision. I felt like God saying, hey, no, I want you to go there. Trust me. Don't trust a logo.
Yeah.
And I just felt led, because honestly, it was hard for me to do it. One, my wife didn't want me to leave at first either, to be completely honest.
Okay.
But she supports me and she understands now. And even I was kind of like nervous, but I like, man, if this is something I wanted to do, I said I want to call plays. I wrote it down as one of my goals. So I always leave and write my stuff down at the end of the year. And I'm like, it's here right now. Yeah. And it didn't look like what I thought it would look like. But actually it did. It looks better than what I look like. It looked like I don't regret it not one bit. It's been an amazing experience since I got here. Building a culture, getting back, knowing the kids, knowing, about their families, things like nature, building a team with recruiting, man, it's just been awesome. And that, praying went into that decision a lot. Cause it was like, I get the interview. I'm doing this thing for the Browns. I'm coaching on, NFL Network for
doing the East-West Shrine game.
Yeah. So I'm I'm preparing for the Shrine game. Also preparing for this, make this move during interviews and stuff. And it was just like, yes, you got to do it. So I truly felt like, led to do it. And I just did it. I mean, with God. So, I felt, some people say who've been around me a lot, they're like, man, you seem like you got a lot of joy again. He said, not that saying you weren't happy, but just seeing how you're smiling even more now and just your energy is different. They felt the difference since I, decided to come back.
Hey, Pastor Washington, he instilled it in us a lot. Write it down, make it plain. Write down, and let God work. when we talk about you getting back into that element, and I can see what they mean when you talk about the joy, right? I think from my perspective out, the experience with the NFL was who wouldn't want to have that opportunity, right? But when your element, your teaching element, you're talking about grown men who are, already in their particular ways about certain things where, you're a teacher, your implementation and development on the student athletes is great. And not only that, you're a great offensive coordinator. So it goes hand in hand because you get to teach, instruct, you get to bring some of a wealth of the knowledge and the things that you've seen done at the NFL level, and you get to implement that if choose to, and also help construct your student athletes, not only on the college playing field, but also giving them that hindsight of what it would look like or what the need would be to get to that next level.
Yeah, for sure. And that all that played a part into this decision. So you just hit it nail on the head where all that went into my process of thinking before making that decision as well.
When you got to, it seemed like the MEAC is trying to ramp up. First it was Norfolk with Mike Vick, a great player and someone that you looked up to, to then Deshaun Jackson, over at Delaware State, and it seems like the coaching staff, Clinton Port is like, you guys are like, you guys have a wealth of knowledge from a collective of great athletes themselves first. And you talk about what that journey has been like, just to be in a room with everyone doing coaching meetings and the ebb and flow of information and how it goes.
Absolutely. I brag about this. You're gonna see it soon with our recruiting on just the Delaware State staff. We have over 60 years of playing and coaching NFL experience, and I'm proud to say I got 2 of them. So,
absolutely,
guys like Coach Jack, 15, Coach Portis, 9, Coach Chung, 10 coaching, and like 9 or 6 playing. Coach Sammy Parker, 4 playing. All-time lead receiver in Oregon history. Coach Martin got us 8 years. Coach Sims got 6 years. Now we got a wealth of guys that played in NFL, and to be around that every day, it's like a blessing. Like on my offense staff alone, everyone except for one guy had experience in NFL in a coaching or a playing way. Everyone. Now all position coaches have experience in coaching or playing NFL in a certain way. I don't know how many staffs across the FBS can say that, but or FCS D1. Like we're FCS D1, but I'm just saying I don't know how many staffs. Like even some bigger schools can say that, but we can say that here at Delaware State. So it's been amazing, and then obviously in the MEAC itself, it's great coaches all the way around. Not just NFL. Obviously, I coach Mike Vick and Norfolk. They got in their NFL tree. But you got great coach all around, Coach Wilson at Morgan. But
yeah, I definitely was going to touch on because that's some of your roots. When you talk about Coach Wilson and you at Bowie State and Coach Tyree Reed and Coach Antoine Sewell, that's history, relationship, and I was going to ask you, can you talk about what it's going to be like being able, one, to be on the field with those guys again, but then to be on the opposite side of the field. How does it feel to be able to go up against some of the individuals that were influential into your path as a coach?
It's going to be awesome. I mean, me and Tyree had that moment in the NFL where we were the Commanders.
Washington Commanders.
Like that for us, and we talked about it, man, that was fun. Like just us going to each other, knowing where we both came from. We both here at the highest level, get to go against each other, and then think about it now, get to go against the man that recruited me, Bowie State, and Coach Wilson, and then Coach Sewell, who him and Coach Tyree, I talked to them guys probably the most. Like Coach Sewell been like another mentor. Like even when I went to Willing, he always checked up on me. Yeah. Make sure I was okay. Him and Coach Coleman.
Yeah.
Coach Coleman is also part of the reason why I got to the Cleveland Browns. After I got the interview. Like he didn't make a call, but once he heard I got the interview, he made a call up there because he knew some people. But to go against that staff, I'm excited for it. when the opportunity presents itself, to be completely honest, I hadn't thought about it as much because they're not the first on the schedule, but I did glimpse like, man, I get to go against them. Like, that's going to be fun. Like, I know Coach Sewell, he going to talk his trash, but I'm like, when it's time to, I can't wait. It's going to be like some bulls going at it, but
yeah,
I'm excited.
And you know, it's crazy, and not because of the investment that I have when it comes to Morgan State, but you know, knowing Coach Sewell personally from when I was at Bowie State, but then also knowing him as a coach, defensive coordinator, and then knowing you personally, we've known each other for
A long time.
a long time, right? And you know, and just being able to watch you do exactly what you love. Like a lot of people ask me, you know, when it comes to everything that I do, because people automatically assume that I get paid for everything that I'm doing, right? And I tell people, when it comes to the covers that I've done at Morgan and Bowie, I haven't gotten paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the love that I have. It's me wanting to give, first and foremost, HBCUs the platform that they should have already had. And I know I'm not as big as ESPN or as big as Fox Sports, but in my mind and in my heart, I feel that everything that I provide when it comes to HBCU coverage is just as important. So it's going to be an honor to watch you coach up against Morgan. Like I've circled that game. I'm well looking forward to it. I've circled a couple of games. Also, I can't wait to see when you get to go up against your old alma mater in Bowie State at your home field. These are games that I'm interested in, and I'm watching as a football fan, but also as a personal friend fan. Like I'm just excited. I gloat. I smile, like bro. Like it's crazy when you watch from where we were and watch how God worked and how He ordered your steps and how you humbly listen, but you're humble in your experience as well, and that's what is more gracious about you.
I appreciate that, man. I'm excited as well. Just it's funny, a lot of people been hitting me up like, hey, I'm coming to the game, let me get tickets. I said, I don't control the Morgan one, that's for sure. Yeah, I hit them up, but they asked for tickets and stuff, and I'm like, they told me I'll come to that Bowie game. So it's gonna be a fun time for sure, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely. And lastly, before I let you go, what is the one thing that, of course, wins and losses matters, you know, most when it comes to sustainability and just coach and, you know, the growth. But what is something that you're most looking forward from you giving to your players this year? What is that expectation?
I was saying, no need to retaliate if you slide first. What I mean by that is,
yeah,
now that's an offensive philosophy.
Yeah,
sure, because we're gonna start fast and finish strong. But take control of your life before someone else takes control of it for you. And I hope to instill that in them. And that goes from like saying, even if you have goals, write them down. And then what's the objectives to go to those goals? Especially for the quarterbacks and everyone on offense, I made them write down their goals because I'm big on, because I got it from Pastor Washington in the Bible, write it out, make it plain. And I know people think I'm playing or lying, but I literally wrote out my career.
Yeah.
Like I wrote out being in an NFL at the time it was coming, but in a different role, and God blessed it even more. So I'm grateful for that. I wrote out being an FCS coordinator. I didn't know it was going to be at Delaware State, but I wrote it out. And to see it come true, it's been a blessing from God. And you have to have faith, but everyone forgets the other part. Faith without works is dead. So I hope to instill that, like take control of your life for someone else do it for you, and then write your goals down and put a direction into it, and make sure it aligns with God.
Hey, couldn't end it no better than that. You already know what it is, man. Again, shout out and a huge congratulations and a thank you to my guy, Nemo Washington, Delaware State University offensive coordinator. It's going down. You already know what it is. It's your boy Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone. Delaware State.
Yes, sir. We're in the building.
I can't wait. It's about to get litty.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay tuned for more Pitts and Push Pitt Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone coverage. Enjoy your evening.
Yes, sir.